Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be drafting a wrap crop top, as you can see on the screen, that you can also use as a front tie top. All right, let's get straight into this tutorial. Okay guys, so to get started with this pattern, as you can see on the pattern paper, I've drafted out like a dartless back bodice pattern because we're going to be starting with the back. So you will draw out the top line, which will be your shoulder line, your bust line, your waist line. So you have to take this measurement. So let me quickly show you on the dress form. So this is your shoulder, right? So from your shoulder you will measure your bust line. So this is your bust line, and then that is the measurement I have from here to here. And then your waist line, this is your waist line, and that is the measurement I have from the shoulder line to the waist line. And then your bust round circumference and your waist round circumference. You will also need your shoulder, that is from one shoulder tip to another. You take that measurement from the back, and that is what I have from here to here. And then to create your shoulder slope, as you can see on this dress form, the shoulder is not straight like this, so you need to come down by 1 inch, one quarter inch, depending on how slopey your shoulder or that of your client is. So you will mark that from here to here, and then you create your shoulder seam line. All right, so and also to create your armhole cuff, I have a tutorial on the channel that explain how you can do that, so watch that tutorial. So here, as you can see, I've created the back armhole cuff, and then the next thing I will do is to quickly create the neckline. So for the neckline, I will mark 1 inch for the neck depth for the back, and then for the neck width I mark 4 inches. So I will quickly use my free hand to create that nice curved shape. Can you see that? So once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is to input your measurement. So your bust measurement divided by 4. In my own case, it is 9.5 inches, and then I will add 1/4 inch east to that, and then I will come to the bust line and input my bust measurement divided by 4, which is 9.5. So to the waist, we are going to be adding 1 inch dart intake to this pattern. So my waist measurement divided by 4 is 7.75 inch plus 1 inch dart intake. So I've added that. I will create the side line. So can you see that? So now that I've created the side line, because I didn't create the side line before I created the armhole cuff, so I will reshape the armhole cuff. So this is my new armhole cuff. So I will cross this one out so we don't get confused. So now we are going to be placing the dart. So to place the dart, I will mark my bust distance measurement, which is 4 inches. And then I will also mark 4 inches here. So I will just extend the upper chest line. Upper chest line like this. So I will need to extend this dart guideline up. So from the upper chest line, I will go up by 1 inch. So I will extend that line up to that 1 inch. And then to place my 1 inch dart intake, I will mark 1/2 inch at both sides. Then I will connect that and connect that. So now we have the back pattern. So this is our back pattern, and we're going to be cutting ×1 because we're going to be cutting it on fold. So this is the back pattern. I've cut it out, and like I said, we're going to be cutting it on fold, so you are not going to be adding any zip allowance to it. So you'll be cutting just one piece for the back pattern. So now we're going to be drafting the front pattern. Alright guys, so now we're going to be drafting the front pattern, and as you can see, I've already drafted out like a darkless front pattern here. So this is our shoulder line, just like we did for the back. So this is the upper chest line, the bust line, the waist line, and I've created the armhole curve. So the next thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be creating the side seam line. So to do that, it's pretty much the same thing we did for the back. So my bust divided by 4 plus 1/4 inch, that is what I will mark on the upper chest line. On the bust line, my bust divided by 4. You can add your ease allowance to your bust measurement depending on how you take your measurement. If you take it too tight, you will need to add ease allowance to it. So on the waist line, your waist divided by 4, which is 7 3/4 inch in my own case, and then you go ahead and add 1 inch to that. In this case, we are not placing any dart on the front, so we're just adding that 1 inch for ease allowance. So now I will connect this side, and now we've created our side seam line. So the next thing we want to do now is to extend the length, because this is a wrap top. So we're going to be extending the length on the waist line. So whatever you have here, which is now 8 3/4 inch in my own case, that is what I will mark here as well. And then I will extend that line, and then I will go up by 2 inches because we're going to be adding belt to this pattern. So you go up by 2 inches like this. So the next thing is to connect this point to this point. So you can mark your break point on the center front if you don't want it too wide. So that will be a guide for you. So you can either use the upper chest line as a guideline, or in between the upper chest line and the bust line, or your bust line, depending on how you want it. So I will use my upper chest line as the guide, and then I will use my hip curve to create that curve. So I will first of all create a curve from the shoulder line through to the upper chest line like this, and I will make sure I blend the two curves together. So let's see, like that. So smoothing that with your free hand like this. So this is what it will look like, and we're going to be cutting ×2 of this. So this is the front pattern. So this is what the front pattern will look like, but we're going to be adding belt to this because we want to tie it at the back. So whatever belt you will add, you will use these 2 inches as the guide. So that will be the width of the belt. So 2 inches will be the width of the belt that you will add to it. So, and then you can make the belt as long as you want it. You can make it 20-30 inches long so that you'll be able to tie it. You tie a knot at the back, and then you're going to be needing 2 belts. So you will cut ×2 belt with the width of 2 inches by, let's say, 30 inches length. So 2 inches width and 30 inches for the length. So that is the belt that you will cut, and then you will go ahead and add your seam allowance round this pattern. So you cut ×2 that will overlap each other, and you add your belt to it that you will use to tie it at the back. So let's move on to cutting the sleeve. All right guys, so now we're going to be drafting the belt sleeve for our crop wrap top, and then here I have my basic sleeve pattern here. So once you have your basic sleeve pattern, you can trace it out on another pattern paper, and then as you can see, the center line here, this is the bicep line here. So we're going to be using this center line as a guide. So the first thing you will need to do is to, from this center line to this end, you will divide it into 3. So I have a total of 5 inches here, and you also come to this side and do the same thing. like this. Can you see that? So once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is to use your straight ruler and draw a line up from this mark. You draw it up. So now that we have this, we're going to be using the slash and spread method to create the pattern. So we're going to be slashing these lines. So you slash it all the way to the top. But you're not going to cut it through. Can you see that? So now we are going to be placing this on another pattern paper so that we can create the fullness that we want at the hem line of our sleeve. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've placed another pattern paper underneath our sleeve that we've slashed. So we're going to be spreading this out now because we want to create the fullness only to the hem line. So all you need to do is just to spread it out evenly. So I'll be using my sellotape. So this is what we have. Although the paper is a bit messy, but I believe you can still see what I'm doing. So once you've spread it out like this, so just go ahead and trace it out on the new pattern paper. So go ahead and trace it out. So instead of tracing it out, I'm just going to cut it out. So don't forget to always add your seam allowance. So can you see what we have? And also you will need to transfer your notches. So I will transfer the notches and take this out. So this is the back and this is the front. So I'll just take it out. Guys, so this is what our bell sleeve pattern will look like. So I hope you can see this. So what we are going to be doing now is to add your seam allowance around it, and then to the hem line you're going to be adding 1.5 inch seam allowance because we need to create a casing that we will pass our elastic through at the hem line. So by the time you pass the elastic through it, you will have something like this, and that is what we have on this picture that you can see on the screen. So this is what you will have after creating the casing and you pass the elastic through it. So this is what it will look like, and then you're going to be attaching the sleeve head cuff to your front and back armhole cuff. All right guys, so here we have the front and the back pattern as you can see it. And then when you are cutting on the fabric, remember to cut the belt. So you will need to cut out the belt just like I explained earlier, a belt of 2 inches wide, and then you cut it as long as maybe 30 inches, and you will need 2 pieces for that, for this side, and for the other side of the front. Okay, all right guys, so I will quickly explain how you can sew this. Although I have a similar tutorial on the channel, I'll put the link down in the description box so that you can watch how to sew this type of top. So if you want to have a neat finishing, you can either cut out the lining for this pattern. So you cut out exactly the same thing for the lining and for the main pattern, so that you can have a neat finishing at the neckline and at the hem line. At the neckline and at the hem line, it is very important. But if you are not cutting out the lining, another thing you can do is to use a bias tape. So you can use a bias tape to finish up the neckline and the front neckline, and then for the hem line, you just add your seam allowance and you fold it and sew the hem line. Okay, and then another thing is that you can cut out a facing. Facing is very easy. So just cut out a facing for the back neckline, a facing for the front neckline. So that is the way to have a neat finishing. And once you've cut it out, to join it together, join the front and the back together at the shoulder slope and at the side. And then you attach your sleeve to the armhole cuff, and then you will need to attach your belt to this part of the front. Okay guys, so I hope you guys understand everything we've done in this tutorial today. If you find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section below. And if there is any tutorial you will want me to do, leave it down in the comment section. Until I see you guys in another tutorial, do have a wonderful day. Bye.